Hey, what's up guys? My name is Blake. Today we're going to be doing an in-depth review on the AirPods Pro. So let's go. Alright guys, so like I said in the intro, this is a review, in-depth review, or as in-depth as I can possibly try to get it. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it, and I'm going to tell you all the features and all the stuff for it. If you want to hear my opinion on it, stay to the end of the video, and I'll tell you at the end of the video if I recommend them or not, if I think they're good, all that good stuff. Alright, so let's get right into it. Alright, number one, noise cancellation. So I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have had headphones that do noise cancellation. Usually it's the over-the-ear headphones, but until these came out, I didn't know, or I don't know if there was a whole lot of like in-ear headphones that were doing noise cancellation, other than like your studio monitor type in-ears that like professional musicians use on live concerts and all that stuff. So I didn't know that there was like a solution for in-ear noise cancellation. So the noise cancellation on this works very, very well. And when you go to Apple's website and read on how the noise cancellation actually works on this, it's pretty incredible, the tech that's behind it. But so basically they got a whole bunch of microphones on these little headphones. Microphones on the outside of them, and as well as a microphone on the inside of them. So not only does it hear the things that are coming at your head, but it's going to hear how you actually hear them in your ears. So it's got an internal microphone inside your ear as well, hearing what you hear live as it's canceling out the noise. So yes, the noise cancellation does work, and it impressed me quite a lot. Just from the first time using them, activating it, you can tell a big difference. It cancels out a lot. It doesn't cancel out everything, but with the form factor of the headphones and then the active noise cancellation, it does a really good job of canceling out like a lot of that white noise stuff. If you're on the road, got a phone call, it'll cancel out a lot of that stuff. So noise cancellation does very well. Transparency mode. So just like, so basically the headphones have two different settings. They got transparency mode and noise cancellation. Obviously we already talked about noise cancellation, but transparency is like if say you're on a run, you got noise cancellation on, you want to get into your music, you want to listen, and then somebody is trying to talk to you, or you're in a conversation or you're in a meeting or whatever like that, you need to hear somebody. It's going to use those external mics that's on the AirPods themselves. Basically it's going to open up your ears. So instead of blocking everything out, you'll be able to hear everything a lot better. So like I said, in case you're talking to somebody, you're on a run, you need to talk to somebody or something like that, you need to hear the traffic, all that stuff. That's what transparency mode means. And like I said, it does work very well. It's nice to kind of flip back and forth between noise cancellation, transparency mode, whatever you need to, and it's pretty quick, pretty easy to do that. All right, so form factor. So we're gonna talk about how these things are shaped, how they fit into your ears. Are they comfortable? Are they different from the other AirPods that they had before? So yes, they are a lot different. You can see it kind of has this bean shape with a stem on it. The other ones looked more like a traditional like in-ear headphone that you can find anywhere else. This shape, I think, fits in your ears a lot better. Fills your ear a little bit better, like an earplug. So it kind of sits comfortably right into your ear. It fills up all that space. That way it can kind of control the sound that's coming in, the sound that's coming out, and all that stuff. So yeah, the form factor is pretty decent. It comes with different size earpieces. So if you have smaller ears or larger ears, you can do like the large, medium, small earpieces. And you can kind of customize how the fit is in your ear. Overall, it's pretty comfortable. It does get a really good seal when you put it in, so you can feel how much better it feels rather than like a normal earbud. And I like that it has like the little cushions on it because it's a lot more comfortable over time. So if you're having the headphones in for a long period of time, it's not going to end up hurting your ears. The thing I've noticed with the first generation AirPods is that like all that plastic, after it's sitting on your ears for so long, it ends up hurting your ears from them just being in your ears for a while, whether it's half an hour to an hour or whatever. So yeah, I do like the form factor. It fits in your ear pretty good, it seals it pretty well, and it's a lot more comfortable in my opinion. And going back to the earpieces and talking about form factor and fit and all that stuff, originally when I opened them up and I tested them out for a couple of days, I ended up switching one of my the cushions over to like the medium size little earpiece, because I thought that I kind of felt like it was too large for my ear. It was pushing the AirPod out a lot. So I switched it and ended up kind of, I don't know, I felt weird and it was too small. So I switched back to the large and I get a better seal. But yeah, it's kind of nice that they give you those earpieces and they don't make you pay for them separately in case you want to change the size of them. So how does it handle phone calls? How does it handle listening to music overall? How does the transparency mode and all that stuff fit into all that? So what I found so far that's been the most practical, that I found a lot of good use out of, is phone calls. So noise cancellation with the phone calls. So when I'm driving around, say I'm doing DoorDash or something like that, or I'm just driving in the car, I'm on the phone with my wife, or on the phone with my mom or something like that, and I need to hear the call, or you're on the highway, you don't really want the audio blaring in your ears, but you kind of still need to hear what they're saying. You can turn that noise cancellation on during a phone call and you can hear it goes and it doesn't get dead silent, but it's pretty darn close, and you can put a lot more focus onto what the person's actually saying when you're on a phone call with that noise cancellation. And then when you turn on transparency mode, you can tell a big difference with the phone calls. The music, usually I like to listen to my music a little bit loud anyway, so I don't hear a ton of difference between using noise cancellation or transparency mode with listening to music. But it is nice to have, like I said, generally just because the music's kind of loud anyway, so you're not hearing a whole lot of what's going on. But you do notice a little bit of a difference, and I could listen to it either way on the music. It don't matter to me. Now, talking about music, they are headphones, so we have to talk about audio quality. How do they sound? Do they have bass to them? How does the lows and the mids and all that stuff sound? Does it have a lot of treble? Does it sound like tin can or anything like that? So overall, the audio is pretty darn good. It's a decent mix. You get a good amount of low end, but obviously you're not gonna get a ton because they can only fit a tiny little driver inside that little headphone. But for the size, for the sound and all that, for the form factor, it's pretty good. A decent amount of bass for the mix that you're hearing, in my opinion. So it's not a ton of bass, but it's enough to drive the music and to make you, enough to make this music sound good. Like I said, the audio overall is pretty darn good. It's a good listening experience when you're talking about the music. Spatial audio. So this is a really cool feature that I thought was really interesting. So basically, what spatial audio is, it's like a 3D sound type of deal. So like, say I'm watching a movie on my iPad and I'm using my AirPods. If I have spatial audio on, it makes it sound like you are literally in the scene. So instead of just hearing the sound from the headphones, it's almost like you have earplugs in and you can experience the sound everywhere. So if I'm watching like a Star Wars movie and there's a big fight scene going on, and I have the iPad on the table and I have my headphones in, and they're screaming, yelling, whatever, talking, lightsabers going everywhere. If I look at it and I can hear that it's coming from that direction. But then if I turn around, I can hear the same sound, but behind me. It's pretty incredible. I don't know how they do it. I'm sure there's a whole lot of science and bull crap that goes into how they actually achieve that, but the spatial audio function is very cool. Now, it's not something I would purchase these for, and it's not something that I would use as a selling point to get somebody to get them. It's just a really cool feature to have, especially if you do a lot of content consumption as far as not really YouTube videos, because YouTube videos don't have that kind of sound usually. But if you watch a lot of movies and stuff on your iPad, you like using your headphones, it's a pretty cool experience. And if you do get these, it is a very cool feature. So if you go to the Apple website, they have this feature called audio tuning that these are used all the time. And I can't remember what the numbers are exactly, I put them up on the screen, but basically with that internal microphone, the headphones can hear exactly what you're hearing live. So depending on how you're hearing them, what the sound sounds like coming out of the headphones and going into your ear, it will tune the music, basically EQ it, do minor adjustments to it every second essentially. So the music, it's their effort to get to the music to sound the best in every environment, inside your car, when you're running, and all that different type of stuff. I'm not going to go too in-depth into audio tuning. I'll put some info on it on the screen, but yeah, that's another feature that they have. Wireless charging, probably the feature I use the most on these, other than actually listening to them. Wireless charging, I love that these have wireless charging. I had the second generation AirPods. Before these, having them be able to charge wirelessly is very nice, very convenient, especially because we already have wireless chargers that we charge our phones with, so I don't have to worry about going and finding a cord and all that stuff. We just set it on a wireless charger, it's good to go. Charges pretty quick, and while we're on that subject, let's talk about battery life. How long do these last? And I think they have a 24-hour battery rating or something like that. In general, they last quite a long time. I've used them for the entire day, and they're only at 50%, and then you put them back in the case, and they go back up to 100%, and then the case is only drained a little bit. So just from a practical standpoint, they last quite a long time. I've even left them in the car in the cold overnight. The case still had charge, the headphones were still charged up 100%, so the battery life is pretty darn good on these. And then audio sharing. So Apple has this feature called audio sharing with all their devices, all their headphone devices and all that stuff. So if you have two people with wireless headphones and they're watching something on the same screen and they're on the same Apple TV or the same iPad, iPhone, whatever, then you can do audio sharing. Say you're on a plane and you and somebody else want to listen to the same exact movie on the iPad, then you can do audio sharing Just go into your AirPlay settings, and then you can watch one movie, have 2 different sets of AirPods connected, and you guys can hear the exact same audio at the exact same time, which is a pretty cool feature. Now, I haven't used audio sharing. I probably won't ever use audio sharing just because it's not really practical for us. I'm like the only one in our house that even uses something like this. My wife has a pair, but she like never uses them. And if we're gonna watch a movie together, we're not gonna have headphones in probably. It's gonna be on the Apple TV or on a normal TV, a normal screen. So yeah, not very practical for me, but a cool feature to have. All right, we're gonna talk about functionality. So how do the AirPods perform day to day? What things about them are annoying? I didn't find any major flaws with them, but obviously just like everything else, nothing's perfect. You will have flaws. There will be things that probably annoy you about them. So for instance, for me, a couple of things. The one thing was, although you don't have to pair these every single time, say I'm in the car and I get a phone call, but I don't have my AirPods in. If I hurry up, take my AirPods out, put them in my ears, the phone's still ringing, I answer it, for whatever reason it doesn't just automatically, boom, pop up into my AirPods, because they're not synced up to the phone yet or whatever. So it usually takes like 30 seconds solid just to get the phone call that I just answered from my phone to the AirPods if I don't already have them in. So if you're in the car, it's almost like they expect you to have them in all the time if you want to use them and have like instantaneous response just like that. Which for some people may not be a big deal, but I don't like having them in if I don't have to have them in. If I'm not watching something, if I'm not talking to somebody on the phone, I don't like to have them in if I don't need to. So if I'm in the car and I get a phone call, I would like to be able to just take them out, pop them in, answer the phone call, and then I answer it on the headphones. But for some reason, it's just not that simple. It takes an extra, 10, 15 seconds, and sometimes the person on the other end is like, hello, 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 and then you're trying to fiddle with the AirPods, so that part is a little bit annoying. The other thing that I found that was kind of annoying if I was watching a YouTube video or something like that, watching a movie on my phone, and somebody texted me, a lot of times what it'll do is I'll hear the text message alert in my ears, and then when I go back to watch the video after I respond to the text, there's no audio. So the video's still playing, and the phone thinks that it's pushing the audio to the headphones, but I don't hear anything. So then I have to go into my AirPlay settings, tap phone, so it goes back to the phone for the audio source, and then I have to tap on AirPods again to get it pop it back to the headphones, and then it works, and then the next time I get a text message, the same thing happens. I don't know if it's a bug fix, I don't know if it's just my phone, but that's another thing that was quite annoying. But all in all, obviously they function pretty well for what they are, and just like I said, nothing's perfect, and these are just a few of the things that I found that annoyed me a lot about them. Let's talk about price. So price, I got these on sale for like a Black Friday sale thing for like $170, which is the cheapest I've ever seen them. It was like $169.99. My wife got them for me for Christmas. She saw them, she's like, do you want these? I was like, for that price? Yes, I do. So yeah, $169.99 is the price I got them for. Right now, you can probably get them at $199. They came out at $250, so depending where you get them, it could be anywhere from, I don't know, $200, $225, $190. It just depends on where you're getting them. If you can Target, Best Buy, Apple Store, wherever. If you pay at the Apple Store, you're gonna pay top dollar, whatever they're selling for right now. It might be $199. I'm not sure. I'll post it on the screen right now. But right around $200 is what you're gonna spend on these headphones. So, all right, finally, we're at the end of the video. If you're still here, you're still sticking around, this is where I'm going to give you my opinion, whether or not I recommend them, if I would tell you that you should buy them or not. But if you have stuck around this long in the video, I really appreciate it, and I appreciate if you leave a comment down there just saying, still here. So like if you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate it, you guys. Thanks for watching the video, thanks for supporting the channel, I really appreciate it. But you want to hear my opinion, and my opinion on the AirPods Pros, excuse me, AirPod Pro, wow, is it AirPods Pros? AirPods Pro. My opinion on the AirPods Pro is that yes, if you're going to be spending this kind of money on headphones, then yes, I do recommend these headphones. I think they're very good, and they are a good buy. Now, the other people on the other side of the camera are like, oh, those are way too expensive. That's up to you. It depends. You have to figure out what you are willing to spend on a pair of headphones, pair of earbuds, and whether or not these are worth it to you. I can't decide that for you. I can just tell you from a consumer standpoint, they do a good job, they sound good, and they function pretty well. So that's it. If you guys are still sticking around, like I said, please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.